whatever you're applying for. If you're applying for a long-term visa or a long-term residence permit, employee card, blue card, partnership visa application, family reunification, you always have to pay some administrative fees. And then it depends on where you pay them and what you pay for, on like how you pay it, where you pay it, and how much. So generally, I'll divide it into two parts. First is when you're submitting your first application through a Czech embassy. And second will be if you're submitting something in the Czech Republic already at the Ministry of the Interior. So if you're submitting your application for a long-term visa or long-term residence permit through a Czech embassy, you basically always have to pay some administrative fee. The fee depends on the type of the visa or the residence permit you're applying for. And if you want to know the exact amounts and at exact embassies, because this can also be different at different embassies. Some embassies, for whatever reason, charge like 5 times more than any other embassies, but it's only like one or two, one in Africa and one somewhere else. I don't remember. So if you want to know the exact numbers of how much you need to pay for some type of application, comment and I'll answer that. I answer all the comments on YouTube basically immediately. So if you want to know the exact amount at your embassy for the exact type of residence permit you're applying for or visa, comment and I will answer in the comments. But generally, you need to pay some administrative fee, and then it depends at the embassy if they allow you to pay by card or in cash. It used to be mainly cash, and either in the local currency or in Czech crowns, or sometimes in euros. Especially if it was in Europe, then you could pay in euros as well. But generally, it was either in local currency. So if you were applying in India, it would be in rupees or in Czech crowns. Now, because of COVID, many embassies added the payment by card option, but it's not like not all the embassies and not all the time allow that. So it's also important to find out prior that at some embassies also they don't have like they have the Czech amount you need to pay. For example, in the Philippines. So for example, for an employee, for family reunification, for an adult person, if you want to bring your spouse, you have to pay 2,500 crowns in Czech crowns. But in the Philippines, you can pay it, or you have to pay it in the local currency. And the exchange rate changes. So basically every month, the amount you need to pay is slightly different because you don't pay it in Czech crowns, you pay equivalent in the local currency. So it's important to always check with the embassy in advance, or if you have a question about the exact amount and how to pay, comment below and I will find it out for you, because it can be different at every embassy and like for every time, every visa application, and changes in time as well. But there is one big change if you want to apply for something in the Czech Republic. So either if you're extending your visa or residence permit, for example, or if you can, for whatever reason, apply for your first residence permit in the Czech Republic. That usually works only if you apply for a partnership visa, for example. So if you came here under a short-term visa, but you have a Czech or EU partner and you want to submit the application for a partnership visa, then you can do it in the Czech Republic. Or if you're switching from a student to an employee card, or from family reunification to employee card, from employee card to student, whatever. Then, obviously, in the Czech Republic, sorry guys, in the Czech Republic, you cannot use money to pay. If you go to the Ministry of the Interior, you cannot bring cash. You cannot pay by card, but you always need to bring these lovely stamps. Those are called revenue stamps or kolky in Czech, and this is what you use to pay at the Ministry of the Interior. So anytime you go there, keep it in mind, because you cannot pay on the spot. You cannot pay by card. You cannot pay by cash. So if you go to the ministry and you need to submit your application, you always need to have these stamps, because if you don't have them, they will not accept the application and you will need to come again. And especially at some ministries of the interior, now it's a very, very big problem. For example, in Chodov, people wait there from the previous day, like 10 o'clock at night, they go there and wait in the line so they can get seen the next day. So if you forget your stamps, you're fucked. So keep it in mind, especially if it's your first application. If you, for example, got here as a student this year, so you only paid the fees at the embassy. So next time when you go to the ministry, keep in mind that you need to bring these beautiful stamps. And those stamps, obviously, they apply. You need to pay with them. So let's say if you want to apply for an employee card, you need to pay 2,500 crowns as an administrative fee, and you need to buy stamps in the amount of 2,500. So you could. There are different values. This is like this is a revenue stamp for 200 crowns. So if you, in some cases, for example, if you're an EU citizen or their family member and you do go change your address, then you have to pay 200 crowns for changing the address. Or if you're submitting your application for the partnership visa or as an EU citizen for the registration certificate, you need to pay 200 crowns in stamps. So that would be this one. But if you, for example, need to submit your employee card application or any other, and you need to pay 2,500, you could bring it in 200s, but I don't think they would like you too much, because you would bring like 14 of those or 12 of those plus 100. But usually you can buy like 1,000, 1,500. They have different values. I believe the lowest is 10 crowns. Then you have 20, 50, 100, 200, 500, 1,000. And that's it. I guess they don't have 2,000 crowns. So yes, you just need to bring these stamps in the adequate amount. Yeah, that's it, how it works. So don't be surprised. Maybe I'm ruining your surprise now if you really came to the Czech Republic for the first time. But then they usually take these stamps and like lick it, or like just put it into water and then stamp it to your application, and it stays there forever. So this is how it works. Maybe one important note: don't tear this part off, because you can see that it's like two parts, like big one and small one. Don't tear that off, because if you do that, then it's invalid and you cannot use it anymore. So always keep the stamp in whole. And maybe where you get it, basically these stamps, you can get them at any post office. Basically, in most cases they have them. I don't think you can get them anywhere else, so you have to go to a post office, but basically any branch have them. They might just run out from like a particular amount, but they usually have plenty on stock. And if that one particular person doesn't have it, usually their colleagues have. So you should be fine. You just go to the post office, say you need call key for 2,500, and it should be pretty easy to do. But one more time, don't forget those at home when you're applying for whatever, because if you do, then you might not be allowed to submit the application, because the ministry does not accept cards, does not accept cash. So if you don't have these stamps, you're fucked. And with this beautiful message, I will be saying bye. I will not be doing a live stream on TikTok today, because I decided that I will be making shorter videos, shorter live streams on Facebook and YouTube. So the content is more like condensed and easier to digest. And then I always go to TikTok to do like a Q&A session. But I will not do that today, unfortunately, because I don't really, the throat is not really feeling very well. So I'm starting coughing, and it would not be good for anyone. So thank you very much, guys, for joining. Hopefully this was helpful. If you have any questions, comments, especially on Facebook, because on YouTube, because on YouTube I basically reply all the comments. Okay, because I receive notifications from YouTube that someone commented. So whenever I receive a notification to my email, I go there, I reply. With Facebook, I don't receive notifications, so I don't always reply. the comments, but on YouTube, I do all the time. So if you have any questions about your particular embassy or your particular application, if you can pay by cash, card, or if you need to have these stamps and in what is the amount, comment. I'll be happy to find out. See you again on Thursday, guys. Hopefully I'll be feeling better